Podcast One presents The LadyGang, the Hollywood girl posse, with LadyGang Quickie. Here's Keltie Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Let's make this quick.
Hello. Welcome to the LadyGang Quickie. I am Becca here with Jack and Keltie.
Hello.
I hate to say it, but we miss each other.
It's true. It's so true. And it's actually comforting because I thought that I would leave that tour in Texas and be like, never again, bitches.
Yep.
See you never. And
Yep.
I'm already excited to see you in November.
I know.
I know. We're like sisters. Like we just like can't live without each other.
It's so weird. I've had moments of being like, because first of all, we've all been really respectful of not bugging each other. Because
we're giving each other a break here.
And I think it's like dating. It's like dating. You guys were not smothering and being too needy, so we're leaving each other wanting more.
Yep.
Is it healthy? You know, maybe that's why we like each other now.
That could be part of it. Yes.
A healthy relationship.
Healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this quickie is all about our travels because we need to catch each other up because Becca's been to Spain. Jack, the amount of people that DM'd the LadyGang account wondering how the festival was, and then nobody asked me about my trip to Europe, but that's fine. I'm going to tell you anyway.
But Keltie, it's because you documented every second of your trip.
I know.
That is true.
Leave the people wanting more. See?
Yeah, it's true. So Jack, first, because it's fresh.
Well, I wanted to talk about it for probably our next week's episode, but I guess I could talk about it here.
We'll talk about the cancellation.
Yeah. So when we were Young Fest, which was announced in January, and everybody thought it was a scam because it was too good to be true. They're like, how the hell is this going to work? Like, too many bands. There's no way. Everybody thought that they were going to get ripped off. Yep. So the festival happens last weekend. And on Saturday morning, we're all like getting ready to go to the festival. And at like 10:30, I'm in the bathroom, like doing my hair, like my makeup, talking to Jared. I open Instagram and I see the Instagram post that the festival was canceled due to wind. It was so fucking windy in Vegas that morning. And we were talking about it. We're like, you can't really have a festival if like stages are getting blown down and knocked over. And I guess they ended up canceling it at the very last minute. Jared didn't even know until I saw the Instagram post from the festival.
And he was playing it.
He had like no idea. I was like,
I
Jared.
wanted to ask you, was the day that were they supposed to play on Saturday?
Yeah. So the lineup was the same both days and this weekend too.
Thank
it's
God.
like a copy.
You only buy one ticket. Like you go Saturday or Sunday, or you can go both days, but you're seeing the same band.
It's the exact same. It's like how Coachella does the 2 weekends.
I actually like that because then you can like hit everybody that you want to hit.
Yeah.
If you, right? Because at Coachella, you'd have to go back another weekend. But for this, it's like you just go back-to-back days.
But people are just pissed because the tickets were super expensive. Well, they're super expensive compared to Warped Tour, which was like $35.
Right.
But, so yeah, we were like talking about it in the morning. We're like, it's so fucking windy. And, it just sucks because it's like a fucking course that happens.
Yeah.
Like, as everybody like is talking so much shit on the festival, like, is it going to happen? I don't think so. Blah, blah, blah. It was like the worst case scenario that could have happened. So it got canceled the first day, they put it on the second day, and it was literally perfection. The festival was so well done. It was like so well put together. All the bands went on time. And like nothing went wrong. Like the way that they ran that festival was like truly so impressive. It was like it was going on for years and years and years.
Does it mean there were double the people because everyone who couldn't go Saturday went Sunday?
No, because both of the days sold out. Like people were trying to buy tickets. Like they're selling tickets for Sunday for like $100 because people are just trying to get rid of them. And then once the festival got canceled, they were like $2,000. Like people were like price gouging, which is fucked up. But like.
Oh, because if you flew from Idaho and Saturday was canceled and you didn't have a ticket to Sunday, you're not seeing the festival.
There were people that flew from like Japan and Manila and Brazil.
So what was Vegas like on Saturday? Like it was just 40,000 emos trying to figure out what to do with their lives.
It was insane. So the festival, it was so weird. It was like in the middle of Vegas. I did not know they had a festival grounds like right next to the Stratosphere and the Wynn Hotel. So the Stratosphere is like the closest hotel, and they had to close it down because there are so many emo kids like just like loitering around and not knowing what they're doing, trying to like everybody just got drunk because it's like there's nothing else to do. A lot of the bands played sideshows. Jared tried to. Keltie, you were trying to help them find a venue, but everybody was like trying to like make up for it. But it's like there's nothing you could do, and it's better that the festival, they closed it down for that day than putting it on and having the wind knock over a stage and killing a bunch of people. So,
yeah,
they made the right choice for safety.
Yeah, it's one of those things like we've been in that position with LadyGang before where it's like, it's like you're a company and people's lives and health and safety. And like, it just sucks.
It sucks to do the right thing.
It sucks to do the right thing because they could have put it on. They would have made more money because they're making back end on everything, I'm sure. And they're going to lose a ton of money. But it's like, you're right. Like maybe nothing would have happened. But if one of those like flags that's up on like our grids or whatever fell over, like people
or even like a tent or something flew over. Like there's so many ways that people could have gotten hurt. And I think a lot, like everybody knew that was the right thing to do.
Right. But it was still like such a bummer.
But, people were just getting pissed. So it just sucks because the festival is so good. They did such a good job that was such a damper. And it's like literally the worst case scenario that could have happened.
Okay. So my question is this. I mean, we missed an outfit on Saturday, but in all your glory on Sunday, you went.
No, she wore the outfit.
I wore the outfit because I didn't bring anything else to her.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. Okay. So Jack Vanek, scene queen number 1, returns to her roots. She's on the festival grounds on Sunday. And I see that you're just walking around like a normie. You don't have security. Like, I'm worried for you. What was it like? Were you getting stopped every 5 seconds? How many people percentage wise were wearing your Jack Vanek merch? Like, what was happening?
No, I did get stopped a lot, but it was fun. I'm in my element. I was so happy to be there. I was so happy to run into like emo kids that had my bracelet for, like 20 years. So it was really fun. Like I was really just like in my zone, and I loved it. I mean, I was with Jared, like walking around too, and people were stopping him like all the time, but it was great. I saw so much Jack Vanek merch. I was taking videos of everything because I want to put together a little compilation of all the Jack Vanek merch that I saw when I was there. I just wish I had a tent because I could have.
I was going to say
in those elder emojis.
Weren't you trying to find a tent? Weren't you trying to figure out how to get a tent at one point?
They didn't end up having vendors because it was just like too much of a shit show. They didn't even have like merch. Like each band at Warped Tour, each band would have their own tent and sell their own merch, but they just had like a general merch tent like they do at Coachella. But then the lines were like 3 hours long. That was like the only complaint, that people had to wait so long to buy like merch for when we were young.
My friend has a restaurant in Las Vegas and they have a tent, Tacotarian.
Oh yeah.
And they had a tent and they said that like it was 100 people deep for 12 hours straight.
Wow. It was insane. No,
it's amazing.
People probably made so much money. That's why I was like, God damn it. Yeah. Maybe next year.
What if you sell your Elder Emo t-shirts from the Tacotarian tent as an add-on when you buy a taco?
That's genius.
You can ask for this weekend.
An idea. You probably don't have any available, but was it everything you dreamed? Who was the best band other than the Main?
I mean, everybody did so well, which is so crazy because so many of these bands like aren't bands anymore. Like they all have normal jobs and they got together to play this festival because they got the offer. But everybody did so well. Like you would think that it's one of those things that like so many of these bands are in their 40s. So they're like not going to live up to the expectations. Sure. There was this band called Story of the Year that used to do backflips, and the backflips were not happening, but I was a little bit disappointed about that. But Avril Lavigne was amazing. So good. Played all the hits.
Oh, wow.
She was so good. Paramore was amazing. The Used. The Main was amazing. The Main probably played to like 15,000 people. Like it was so crazy.
It was
so cool. It was like anywhere you went that day, it was just a sea of fucking people and everybody was so excited. So it was just like the best energy ever. And I'm so, so proud of them too. They just killed it.
Do you think they'll do this every year?
No, so they already announced the lineup for the next year, and it's completely different bands. But they have their own tour. They have that Sad Summer tour that they do in the summer that they're going to do. Yeah, so they have something.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Becca, you went, Jack, I'm glad it was everything you wanted it to be.
It was. Can't wait for this weekend to
Emo
do it again.
dreams.
So excited for you.
I didn't realize you were going back again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't miss it. I feel like I'm dying right now. You can obviously tell in my voice, but can't miss it, you know?
She's like, I will rage. I will emo rage.
Yeah.
Becca, you had a trip to Spain and you looked so beautiful.
Thank you.
I loved the dress that you wore to the wedding.
Oh my
Thank you.
God, gorgeous. How was Spain?
Spain was great. We were there because a really good friend of mine was getting married to this beautiful woman that I love. And she's originally from Miami. Her family's Cuban, but her dad has a place in Spain, this gorgeous house. I couldn't even fathom. Like, it was an estate, if you will. It was crazy gorgeous. And so we decided, if we're going all the way to Spain, obviously for this wedding, we're going to tack on some stuff at the beginning. And, you know, it was great. It was beautiful. I love Spain. I think it's one of the best places to visit. But I will say that we knew going into it that we maybe went for a couple more days than we really should have, because by the end, I think it was like 7 days or something. By the last like 2 or 3 days, Zach and I were just like looking at pictures of our kid, being like, we just want to be home, you know?
Yeah.
And even before having a kid, I do remember, if we went away for too long, you just get old and you want your comforts, because when your house is so made to like you're up to your like dream standards, when you're an old person, going away, even if it's a really nice hotel, it's just not your house. It's not your like place. So we definitely learned our new like parent lesson, which is, even though, and everybody's so annoying, they're like, but you're traveling so far, you want to make the most of it.
Right, of course.
I fully disagree. I'm like, it's not that bad. It's not that far. And it's so much more worth it. And you can enjoy your time there more, I think, if it's condensed, because you're like, I'm going to blow it out. I'm going to have a great time. And then I'm going to get home to my life. But it was great. And the wedding was, it was definitely the most expensive wedding I've ever been to in my life. It was insane. Like, I cannot imagine the price tag of this wedding.
Oh, no.
It was like,
What was opulent about it?
every single thing, to the point where the rehearsal dinner, everybody from the wedding's invited. There were 300 people at this wedding.
Oh my God.
How do you know 300 people? That is so mind-blowing to me.
Unreal. She does have a huge family, and so there was a lot of family, but there were a lot of friends. I mean, a lot of friends. But it was the rehearsal dinner. We had to keep looking at each other because a lot of our friends were there. And we had to be like, you guys, just remember, this isn't the wedding. The rehearsal dinner was the wedding. It was like what normal people would do for their weddings. So the whole night, like live music, everything, sit down dinner, blah, 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 blah. Like, it was extravagant. And yet we had another night to go the next night for the actual wedding. So the actual wedding, the ceremony was in the backyard of her dad's house, which was like insane. They have their first kiss, and behind them is this huge explosion of like a rainbow and fireworks show over the like a vista of the most gorgeous view I've ever seen in my entire life. The flowers were literally planted into the grass for the aisle. There was flowers, there was hanging, and it was all tasteful and gorgeous. Flowers hanging everywhere. Then we're taken to a secret location for the ceremony, and it is this stunning villa in the middle of nowhere, like up in the hills by itself. And the tent is the size of like 2 giant ballrooms in a hotel. And it's like a legit tent where it's actual acrylic. It's not like a paper or like a whatever fabric tent. And then along the entire thing is just lights, twinkly lights, twinkly lights, twinkly lights. There's a cigar. They're rolling Cuban cigars in this one area that looks like a tree house. That we have a cocktail hour, which is like they have pianos out, and there's people singing like jazz music behind the pianos, but they're also making like Aperol spritzes on top of the pianos. It's like the most nuts thing ever. And it was just gorgeous. And what's even better is that they're both the coolest people, like super chill. I've met her before, like a couple times. And it's not the type of person where you're like, oh, this rich bitch. You know, you're like, I just thought she's like a therapist in LA. She's like very, very down to earth, very normal. Come to find out, I mean, more money than God. Ugh, and our friend is like, seriously, and our friend that married her is like the kid that would go backpacking and stay in hostels. You know what I mean? He doesn't give a shit. And so it's just nice to see that. And everybody there was lovely. And yeah, my dress was my favorite part. It was actually a 2-piece. It was a skirt and a top. That brand Awake Mode from the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of amazing because I can kind of separate it and not do, because that was a black tie wedding and I felt like it looked dressy enough. But then you can kind of separate the pieces, and you know, I wore yellow, which is something I don't normally do.
Light yellow too. I was like, this is such
who is this woman?
I know. In the fall
España.
too.
Well, we were in Spain. It was like so hot, and you know.
What was it like to spend time with Zach? Because you guys have, like, I mean, just like one-on-one, because yes, you were away for the tour, but you were just with us. Like this, I think, was your first like real parent, kidless trip since Ford was born, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. We actually were trying to figure out like when we had gone away together that wasn't for like family vacation or like holidays, work, whatever. And I'm pretty sure it was when we went to Spain before COVID. I don't think we've done like a big trip or whatever. It was great. Like I mean, we're lucky that we get to sort of still do things together at home. Like we still get to go to dinners and we still get to have like date nights and all that. But it was nice. It was just funny to like see Zach as a dad, because the guy used to be, before we got married and before he like moved to LA after we got engaged, like he spent probably 15 years traveling internationally like 5 times a year. It was just sort of like, I don't know a country that he's not been to. I thought that it would be hard for him to become a parent and have to sort of like not give it up, but he said, he was like, this is the best part of having a kid late, because I did it all. Like I've done it. I fucking love all these places. I love traveling, but I don't feel this like, ooh, I got to go back to Croatia. No, I'd rather like push my kid in a car in the neighborhood. Like it's
which I am loving those videos, by the way. I need some more of those.
Our content.
He's fucking obsessed with this car. He's going to be a Formula One driver for Halloween.
Oh my God.
So he can be in his car.
It's so cute.
It's this little car, for people who haven't seen it. If you have a kid that's already sitting up but not quite like walking, it's a push car, and you just like strap them in and they fucking love it. It's like they feel like they're in a convertible like in the neighborhood. It's
honestly, I would love to be pushed in that car. So like,
I know they need an adult version.
Same. Okay, Keltie, you were a sophisticated lady. You put the sequins.
Sophisticated lady.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. So I talk about therapy in here all the time because it's truly changed my life. Over the last 7 years, it doesn't matter how big or small the problem is that I'm dealing with. Talk therapy really has been invaluable. Sometimes you get stuck focusing on a problem instead of the solution, and that can be really challenging, and it's tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with those challenges in life. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's really no better feeling, and a therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. So whether you're trying to figure out how to be a better problem solver for yourself, you're feeling stressed, you want to feel more confident, whatever it is, you deserve talk therapy. And why I love BetterHelp is because it is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. You get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. So when you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/ladygang today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/ladygang. The LadyGang is brought to you by Progressive. Let's face it, sometimes multitasking can be overwhelming. Like when your favorite podcast is playing and the person next to you is talking and your car fan is blasting, all while you're trying to find the perfect parking spot. But then again, sometimes multitasking is easy, like quoting with Progressive Insurance. They do the hard work of comparing rates so you can find a great rate that works for you, even if it's not with them. Give their nifty comparison tool a try, and you might just find getting the rate and coverage you deserve is easy. All you need to do is visit Progressive's website to get a quote with all the coverages you want, like comprehensive comprehensive and collision coverage or personal injury protection, then you'll see Progressive's direct rate, and their tool will provide options for other companies all lined up and ready to compare, so it's simple to choose the rate and coverages you like. Press play on comparing auto rates, quote at progressive.com to join the over 27 million drivers who trust Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
The Lady Gang.
Okay, we're back. So I had a 180 from tour. The sequin boots no more. A 3-piece suit every day. Talking to the executives. Get a girl that can do both.
I gotta be honest.
God.
I like sequin Keltie the most.
I know. You know what? I feel like that's like the true you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is a version of you that is like boss, bitch, lady, but like deep down inside, you are the sequin boot.
Yeah.
I am a sequin boot. I am a sequin boot.
But you looked chic as...
You did. I loved all the outfits.
Yes.
Thank you. I was excited because, I've done all this work on my closet over the past year, like really trying to grow it up. And then when I'm left to my own devices and I'm at Marshall's, I'm like, ooh, a sparkly dress. Let me put this on. And so when I got back home, I realized no, we have worked. Like I've worked on my friend Jack had come over, other Jack. I've worked on this to have like some boss lady clothes. So and then I went on that big shopping trip to Paris, if you remember. And I haven't worn any of the clothes because I don't leave my house. So It was really exciting to go out and do it. And it was just like really cool to be in Europe and just in the room where shit happens. And Becca, I couldn't stop thinking about you. Sorry, Jack. I thought about you too a little bit, but
I'm scared.
in the giant, there's a Paramount Plus, which is now CBS. They have this huge tent, right? And it's on the ocean. It's massive. And all the walls and so there's all these little rooms, right? So basically all the buyers, all the television people from all over the world come in and they sit in a room and you get 10 minutes with them and you're like, here's my show. And we had crazy success. It was amazing and it's so well received. So I felt like, oh my God, this isn't a fluke. Anyway, but there's pictures all over the walls of every cast of every show. There's NCIS, Vanessa Lachey, and then there's every single, and even shows that are old because there's still Glee is probably getting picked up in around the world like another show. So there's every cast photo you've ever seen from every sitcom, right? And no one could give a who was on these shows. This was a level above celebrity mattering, that was so interesting to watch. It was they had Natasha Lyonne there because she has a new show. And it was it could have been the lady at the drugstore checking you out, selling you your tampons. Nobody cares about celebrity because it's you're just all the actors and actresses that are famous or whatever. They're just another fucking pawn in the show mode. So these people were above that level being oh, you want to make a good wife in Brazil? Yeah, you can. We don't just replace that chick. You're right. Christine Birdstein or whatever her name is. She's amazing. You know what I mean? It's everyone's so fucking replaceable. And it was so cool to be, it's hard, obviously harsh, but it was cool to be in that room because I was man, I spent my whole fucking career getting the boss that was one step up from me to like me. It's the closest nominated boss. If they like me, then they'll tell the next boss. And I was I am 45 people away from any kind of big decision being made. We're so inconsequential, do not matter. No one gives a fuck. And I was this is great. It's really great.
No, I've known this for a long time when I realized that when they are deciding what pilots get onto a network. So say ABC has a pilot they made. Even if the fucking head of Disney, who owns ABC, Disney, all the Hulu, everything, even if that head honcho is I love this show and I want it to be on the network, it doesn't matter. Who matters are the advertisers. So it's the advertisers could watch a pilot and be we don't care how good it is. People aren't going to watch it and then buy baby powder. Like
Yeah,
the
right.
person like watching this isn't going to buy the Unilever products we want. So it could be the most Nobel Peace Prize winning TV show. But if an advertiser with all that money, which is why it's so like heartbreaking that the arts is so like it's all capitalism.
Yeah.
But it has to so that we can make a living. And it's the reason that I was able to buy a fucking house. But it's still at the end of the day, like your little artist soul, it crumbles and it just gets a little crushed when you realize that it doesn't matter. They want to sell diapers.
Well, it was so cute. Like Jody would be in the meetings and be like, why this is such a great. And then the people would be like, okay, but how much would it cost to make 36 episodes? And you're like, they don't care. Like they're like, but how much did you pay this artist? Like they give no fucks about like, it's so heartwarming and the audience feels so happy. Like, nope.
It's the bottom line. It's the bottom line.
So it was kind of crazy because I was like, ooh, I was with my people, my like straight to the no bullshit. And it was cool because
you're a data person.
I'm a data person. That's what I say.
I put it in quotes, you guys, because her data is always off.
It's always skewed.
Always
it's emotional
skewed. Anyway,
data.
It was great, but we're back and like, you know,
do you think you sold your show?
Do you think it's a success? Like, how do you feel?
Well, I mean, so basically a lot of the countries won't buy a format until it's already on the air in the US. And we don't have an air date. So
it's coming. It's coming.
So, but I did have a really cool meeting. I probably am not allowed to say this, but whatever. I'm just gonna say it. I had a really cool meeting with France. There was this woman. This is a real special story. So there's this woman, Jacqueline, and I thought of you, Jack, and I was like, oh, all happening because she was Jacqueline. Anyway,
twinsies.
So has been making television in France for like years and years and years. And, you know, I have like a tiny bit of French from high school. And so I'm trying to speak bad French with her and we're talking. And so I give her my 10-minute pitch and she's like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. And she stands up and she grabs me by like, we're like saying goodbye and we're doing the double kiss. And she grabs me by both shoulders and she goes, Jody wasn't there. It was just me. She goes, congratulations. This is such a special show. And I was like, oh, thanks. You know, and I'm like, bullshit. And she goes, and then she grabs my shoulders and she looks at me and she goes, but the passion behind your eyes, it's so incredible. You're so special. This is going to change your life. And she just like grabbed my shoulders and I was like, she was like, your passion, like you're so special. And then she gave me her number. And then they called me the next day and they're like, Jacqueline wants you to meet a producer that she wants to produce the show in France. And I was like, great. So I went back in for another meeting. It was the guy who produces The fucking Voice.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
This guy who's like the biggest producer. And he was like, I love the show.
Like The Voice France.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
that's epic.
He was like the Mark Burnett of France.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there and he's like, and by the way, in France, we make all of our shows 3 hours long. We don't wait hour television.
What?
Anyway, it was so cool. And
How the hell are you going to make that 3 hours for one artist?
I don't know. I mean,
you go to their hometowns and like go add like a documentary set.
I mean, there's like all these ideas. Yeah.
The Voice, don't they do that?
Yeah. I think
you could really give a backstory on all the contestants, you know,
right. Like get really involved in them and the artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just felt like it was crazy because we were drunk for like 3 weeks straight on tour. And then I went into like business mode and I was like, get a girl that can do both. And that's it.
Also, I'm going to call you out on saying that you posted a story of you drinking matcha and you were like, Jody makes me eat green things.
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, that's drinking. That's not eating. And second of all, it's not matcha is not a vegetable.
No.
So...
But you can keep thinking it is.
She's a psycho eater.
I need her to rub off on you because...
And she'll be like, what are we going to order? And I'll be like, let's order some breads. And she's like, let's order a poke bowl that's only vegetables. And I'm like, I want you to start
tracking vegetable intake.
I'm already
no
working with a nutritionist. So
good.
And a potato does not count as a vegetable.
No,
okay,
ma'am.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social. At Keltie, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.
All All this month, celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with Pluto TV. Watch movies with the biggest stars like Eugenio Derbez in No Eres Tú, Soy Yo, and Luis Gerardo Méndez in Camino a Marte. Plus, Pluto TV has thousands more movies and TV shows and over 45 channels in Spanish, all for free. So download the Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices and start streaming today. Pluto TV. Drop in, watch free.